This is chapter number 6, Colonialism and the City, the story of an imperial capital. So which capital we are talking about? We talk about Delhi. Colonialism, what does it mean? It means Upaniveshwad. You talk about Britishers, French, Portuguese and many other European powers. They made colonies all over the world. So, India or Indian subcontinent was the colony of Britishers. More than 200 years, Britishers were there in India. So, the New Delhi today we have and the old Delhi, we need to know about the story of imperial capital. We'll talk about Mughals. We'll talk about the partition and the Britishers. So what happened? We talked about how the British rule has changed, affected the people of countryside, people living in villages. But what happened to the cities? Indian cities, different cities, how they were before and what happened to them while Britishers were there. And you cannot compare all the cities together because if you talk about Madurai, Madurai was a temple town. It was totally based on a mandir. But if you compare it with a manufacturing hub town like Dhaka, a port Surat, a port like Surat, so things do not match. They went up and down differently. Before we go ahead, let me show you United Kingdom. These are two important towns, industrial towns. London is the capital of Britain. So below you have all Europe. So Leeds and Manchester. Leeds and Manchester. In Britain as well as in the European countries, industrial revolution take place. Industrial revolution. Now these Leeds and Manchester, they came up rapidly in 19th and 20th century because of the industrialization, industrial growth. So people started coming here because if you talk about an industry, manufacturing things are going on, industrialization going on, you need people to work on. So people would come to these cities. When they will come, there will be housing. They have to stay there. So there will be increase in housing. Urbanization will be the after effect of industrialization, Audhogikaran, and then urbanization. Then finally, people would come, the facilities will come up, like the marts, the grocery shops, the transport, everything will come up, all the facilities. So other people who are living in the villages, they will also come to these cities in search of these good facilities. So as I was talking about Europe, unlike Europe, the cities in India, they were not expanding the way the Manchester, Leeds or any other cities in the European world and England was expanding. Okay? So the question comes, why? Why it was not like that? But before that, I'll show you a place. This is the location of Machilipatnam. Machilipatnam is in Andhra Pradesh. Machilipatnam, Masulipatnam. It's a port town. It has a port. So you see this picture. This is a picture of 17th century, to be precise 1672. Machilipatnam. So you can see the ship here. And this town, Machilipatnam, was a very, very important port town at that time. 17th century I'm talking about. But slowly and gradually, when the British, they shifted their port cities or they started giving importance to Bombay, Madras and Calcutta, this Machilipatnam, the valor, the power, the importance of this particular port town, it declined. It declined because at that time, no aircraft, no air cargo was there. So this port town were very important. But because of new port towns, Machilipatnam declined. Why was this so? I just told you that these Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. So if I take you to the late 18th century, around 1850 and plus, Britishers made Calcutta, Madras and Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. Calcutta has become Kolkata now, Bombay is Mumbai and Madras is Chennai. So these were the names earlier. And these were important, they raised to importance of prime hub of governance, presidency, because these were the center where British used to rule whole India. So presidency, basically they were doing all the administrative purposes, work from these center points. Basically the East India Company factories, that is the trading post, the sources would come, the content would come, it will be traded, exported, imported, and these were from Surat, Madras and Calcutta. Surat is very near to Bombay, that is why Bombay presidency was there. So these three was strategically taken, that these three are very much near and the trade can be controlled from here, the East India Company. That is why they wanted to divide whole India into certain parts so that they can be governed properly. They can be administered properly. That is why we have presidency, because again the factories were there. So if you see here, this is a kind of British Empire division. This is a Bombay presidency. On the left you see Western Court. On the eastern the ports, the Madras, and then you have here the Bengal. So all these three regions were the presidencies. Other provinces were still there, but these were the main. Why? Because there was Surat, and after that Bombay took over Surat, right? Surat was previously, today also Surat is very important town, but Bombay, it rose up to that importance, and still Bombay is the second important city after Delhi in India. So if you take the right, that is the Coromandel Tat, we have Madras, and here in the Bay of Bengal, the main was Calcutta, Kolkata. This was the Bengal presidency. Okay. So what would happen if new cities will come up and get importance? The old cities where certain things were required or manufactured, the requirement will be not that much. The demand will drop down because people will go from one place to another. The new ports will get more importance. The new manufacturing cities will get more importance. And mostly what happened, Britishers, they conquered certain leaders or the kings, and now this particular area, because the Raja or the king is under British, and British have some other administrative center point. So this particular place, even if it is very high power in the earlier regime, this will not have that power, valor, or importance. So this is how the people will not stay here. They will leave this place, because now they leave for the places which are now important with the perspective of Britishers. So when a place get deserted, people go and other centers come up, that particular place is called deurbanization. That is, if a city which was earlier very famous, but the famous city slowly, gradually, because of various reasons, it declined, people start deserting it, that is deurbanization. So Machilipatnam, Surat and Seringamapatnam all face this deurbanization. Mysore, we talked about Mysore kingdom, Tipu Sultan, he was defeated by Britishers, and Seringamapatnam was the capital of Tipu Sultan. But once he was defeated, Seringamapatnam, though it was a very, very important city, the Rutba, the importance declined. Machilipatnam also we saw when the first discussion we were having. Then the Surat. Surat, why? Surat was really an important hub. But because Bombay, it took over. Because Bombay was the port, it was a natural port. And it was quite, the place was very approachable. It was quite good. So all these these reasons were there why Mumbai or Bombay took over Surat. If I give you a statistics, in 20th century, early 20th century, only 11%, that is 11 people out of 100 people or Indians were living in cities. That is 89% were still living in the villages. It's 89, not 81, okay? So there is a very good picture shown here. This was a busy port. East India Company, when they started giving importance to Mumbai, it became the main western port. This is the west part, this is the east part. So where main western was Bombay or Mumbai. So that is how Bombay became the most important port. Still now, it is most important. Now we have talked about this now. But we started with Delhi. Remember? Delhi, it was a Shahi, imperial, Itihasik, historic city. But by the time we are talking about the Britishers, before Britishers or just now, it was just a normal town. It was a dusty provincial town. But when 1911 and 1912, when it was made the capital of India, it was declared, then the importance, the phase, all the panorama of Delhi changed. Now, what was the capital of Britishers? For a long time, it was Calcutta, Kolkata. So, 1911, I will tell you, it will come when it was declared as the capital of India. You can say the opposite of deurbanization is urbanization. Bombay, you see how much population is there. Delhi, you see how much population is there. The reason is we have companies here. We have jobs. Big companies, metros, trains, helicopter, aircraft, everything is here. So when people start going to one place because they have facility and they may get the employment opportunities. Like Bangalore has developed, like Hyderabad has developed, like Pune has developed. So when people come here to a single place and they earn money, they send money also back home. This place where number of people come, this is called urbanization. The opposite of urbanization is de-urbanization. Vishahriikaran. Vishahriikaran, de-urbanization. Shahrikaran is urbanization. Now question comes, how many Delhi is before New Delhi? So English or Britishers made New Delhi. But what about what happened? Why did they make New Delhi? What was the Delhi earlier? What was the actual Delhi? Still we have Delhi, right? But New Delhi is what? In 1000 years, last 1000 years, Delhi was on and off capital of various big dynasties, various big kings, emperors, right? Like the Mughals, like the Delhi Sultanate, and previous to that also. But with gaps, Akbar made the capital as Agra, Fatehpur Sikri. He wanted Agra to be the center point. So there was a gap. But still, Delhi enjoyed the capitalness. And if you see, only a small area in the left bank, which is 60 square miles, that is 60 mile by 60 mile, left bank of river Yamuna, I'll just show you. Okay. Now this place where all the things are set up, all the cities were set up. Now you see this picture. Many things I'm going to talk about this picture. This is when New Delhi was made. This was the most splendid capital. When you go to metro, if you have been to Delhi, you know the Chowdi Bazaar, the Old Delhi, the Chandni Chowk, all these stations are Old Delhi. This comes under Old Delhi. So the most important splendid capital was Shahjahanabad. The most important was Shahjahanabad. As the name suggests, this was created and built by Shah Jahan, the Mughal emperor. The Mughal emperor. Where we have Red Fort, where we have Jama Masjid. The Red Fort from where our Prime Minister delivered 15th August message to all Indians. So in this whole area, we have fort, we have palace, and we have many other things like the Jama Masjid, etc. So as I am saying, the most splendid was by Shahjahanabad, and it started building in 1639, and it is a proper walled city. Means total city was walled. This is a proper wall around it. Okay, this is a wall. Now the important is we have a fort complex here. Along with we have a Red Fort, so we have a fort complex. Along with this, we have cities. Okay, this straight roads or the main road is the Chandni Chowk. Today also we have Chandni Chowk. So we have a fort and a palace and a city adjoining it. So this red fort is made, why it is called red? Because it is made of red sandstone. Red sandstone. So as I was saying, palace complex were also there. This city had 14 gates. People used to commute from these gates. 14 gates. The main streets of Chandni Chowk still we have. Faiz Bazaar still we have. So these Faiz Bazaar and these Chandni Chowk had so wide road, when the procession of king, it can easily go from one place to another. And there was a canal. It also runs down this Chandni Chowk. And the Jama Masjid which you see here, it was the highest structure, highest building, highest mosque. Jama Masjid was among the largest and the grandest mosque in India. Till date, it is. There is no place, according to the altitude height, higher than this mosque within the city then. I'm talking about that era. So let me tell you again. If you see Red Fort, you can see Red Fort. Whole city is walled city. And then this boundary is properly made. Here you see on the left bank of Yamuna, it is being made. Yamuna. The path has of course changed. And what you see here, the small ships or the boats are embanking. This is called Darya Ganj. Darya means river. Jamuna we are talking. Ganj means market. Darya Ganj. So where the market is there, you buy and sell certain stuff. One more important thing, in the time of Shah Jahan, Delhi was the main center of Sufism. That is, it was the main center point of Sufi culture, Sufism. It was not a religion, but it was something other than the religion. People were getting attracted to this Sufism. That is why you see in Delhi, you will get Dargah, you will see Khanka, you will find Eidgah and Cul-de-sac. So what are all these? Dargah, if some Sufi sant is there and he or she dies, then there will be a shrine being made. Dargah. So now this becomes a point where people would come, like Moinuddin Chashti Dargah at Ajmer. Delhi, you have Nizamuddin Auliya's Dargah or shrine. Khanka, this is basically a lodge, today's hotel. But this lodge was specifically for travelers who would come for this spiritual thing. They will dance, they will get the blessings of the saints, hear the Sufi music. So this is a place for basically Sufism. Eidgah is a place, basically it's a land. There is no structure, there is no lantern or top structure, just a land where people would come, and because in the time of Eid al-Zuha or Eid al-Azha, the people offering namaz or prayers are too many. So that is how this is a specific place where it is assumed that people should come and offer their prayer at this place, Eidgah. Cul-de-sac is what? Cul-de-sac, especially in the old Delhi areas. So this is a dead end. So how the commuters will change, or the see here car, it will take a round and it will come back. So in between sometimes we have say a roundabout also, but it is a end. So cul-de-sac, various cul-de-sac was there. So Khanka, Dargah, Idgah, cul-de-sac were there. So there was a famous poet, his name was Mir Taqi Mir, and he announced, he wrote that Delhi at that time was not a city or a town, it was like an album. A painter has made an album. It was so beautiful, it was so mesmerizing, amazing. But the delights, the you can say coziness of Delhi was enjoyed only by rich, only by some. Say there was a sharp division between rich and poor, Amir and Garib. There was a clear difference. All the poetries and dance, all are enjoyed by men, wealthy men, rich men. Okay, only rich people would enjoy this. And the celebrations would be there. Even the processions would lead to some serious conflicts because there was a big gap between these. Big mansions and havelis were there, and in between you can find very mud house, means rich and poor both were living together. There are pictures. This is a red fort. This is a red fort because it is of red, and this is a very important landmark of Mughal also and India also. Okay. And the second one, this picture is Jama Masjid. We talked about Jama Masjid a lot. So this is the first mosque in India. You have gumbads also, domes, and minarets. So the eastern gate of Jama Masjid is shown here in Delhi. This is a picture of shrine of Hazrat Nizamuddin Auliya in Delhi. It is near Nizamuddin station. So the making of New Delhi. We talked about Delhi, let us see New Delhi now. But we'll talk about this in the later discussion. Till then, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.